G'day folks, Wren here, and it is time for another round of the Australian Readathon. So this is going to be the second round of the Australian Readathon, and if you didn't participate last time, that's fine. It's a very casual readathon. And for this readathon, it is all about reading Australian books, Australian authors, all good Aussie things. So the hosts for this readathon are Mel from A Book Fiend Named Mel, Stef from Novelty Kaurna, and Meredith from Reading with Merv, as well as myself, obviously. This is going to be so much fun. It was a really fun time last year, and I really hope you can all participate again. So, when is this happening? This is happening from the 1st to the 31st of July. We're giving you plenty of time to get your TBRs in order. So, once again, we're gonna have a bingo board. I'll go through that in just a minute as a bit of a going over of the rules in a way. So there are two ways you can complete this readathon. First off, you can complete the bingo board. Fill as many spaces as you want with Australian books and authors and do the bingo board. But you can also just do a much simpler version, which is just read one Australian authored book and you've completed the readathon. So we're very casual here. There's no big plans, big rules, anything. It's just, you know, getting some people to read some Australian authors because there are so many and they're so great and very underhyped. Now, if you are going to be doing the bingo board, yes, you can double up on prompts. That is totally fine. We do encourage you to read as much Australian authored books as you can, but doubling up is totally fine. Our goal is definitely to get Australian authored books set in Australia. Sometimes that can be difficult. One of my favorite Australian authors, which is Jack Heath, almost all of his books are set in America. It's very frustrating. Try as much as you can to have them set in Australia as well. There will be some recommendations coming out closer to the readathon. I think that's really all the rules. How about we go into the bingo board, shall we? Also, shout out to Mel for creating all of these graphics. Aren't they the most adorable? Okay, so for the first prompt on the bingo board, that is animal on the cover. This doesn't have to be an Australian animal, just an animal. Next we have LGBTQIA+. The author doesn't have to be queer themselves if, you know, you can't figure that, but queer representation, Australia. The next prompt is your favorite genre. So that is very personal. So I can tell you my favorite genre is paranormal. Might not be your favorite genre. So whatever your favorite genre is, find a book by an Australian author within that genre. The next prompt is a First Nations author. So this is obviously a author who is a First Nations author. There are plenty and they're so good. So we will definitely be having lots of recommendations, but there are some really great ones around. Then we just have a free space. Do with this what you will, but you know, Australian author. The next prompt is a coastal setting. So this is fairly simple to complete if you get books set in Australia, because Australia, we all live on the coast because you can't live in the middle, otherwise death. Any book, Australian author, set in a coastal town, set in the water, just find us some water. Said every Australian during summer. The next prompt is very simple with red on the cover. It doesn't matter how much red as long as there is some red. There can be other colors, that's fine. Just some red on the cover and it's all good. Then we have set in Australia. So if you can't find set in Australia for any of the other prompts, at least try and get this one. If you want to complete this prompt, you don't have to. But a book set in Australia by an Australian author. Go forth. Then the last prompt is one of our favorite prompts, and that is the host favorite. So we have another graphic for this, and all four of the hosts have picked 3 Australian authored books that they really love. And with most of them, we tried to get set in Australia as well. So Meredith's favourites, we have Heat and Light by Ellen Van Nerven. Then we have Tell Me Why by Archie Roach. Phenomenal book, if I do say so myself. And then Born Into This by Adam Thompson. Then for Stef's host favorites, we have The Story of Us by Emma Mugglestone. And you know what? There's an animal on the cover. Then we have Deep is the Fen by Lily Wilkinson. And then we have Returning by Kiralee Saunders. Then for Mel's favourites, we have Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. We have The Interrogation of Ashala Wolf by Amberlynn Quamelina. And Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend. And then my favourites were Exactly As I Am by Ray White. This is a poetry queer. All of mine are queer, actually. Who's surprised? Not me. Then we have Anything But Fine by Tobias Madden. And then Upside Down by N.R. Walker. Plenty of books there for you to choose from. If you do end up reading any of these host favorites, please let us know, because we always want to know if people read these books, because we really love them and we hope you love them too. Then the last thing to talk about is our group read. So last year we had a group read and we're having another one this year. And the group read for this year is When Things Happen Together by Jordan Clayton Lewis. This is a queer book, so it ticks that prompt. And it is also set in Australia, so it ticks that one. This book is about a road trip. So these two guys go on a road trip around Australia and feelings happen. So I'll read out the synopsis for you. So it says, Thomas is in need of a change. Being an aspiring artist from London, he hopes a working holiday in sunny Australia will be the muse he's been waiting for. But it isn't Australia's vast landscapes that are his source of inspiration. After a string of unromantic dates, Thomas meets Bruce, a handsome Irish traveller with alluring almond eyes. Interesting. The more time the pair spend together, however, the more they start seeing the numbers 1122 everywhere. Interesting. Creep factor happening. I like this. Are the numbers just a coincidence, or is there something greater at play? Is Bruce really who he says he is? Or is there more to him than he's letting on? A story about seizing the moment, finding a sense of home, and embracing love when it comes knocking. Two travellers on the ultimate Australian road trip. Two numbers that will change their lives forever. That sounds amazing. And I had never heard of it before until like we were all just kind of looking for a book that maybe you would want to group read, and I just typed in queer Australian book. And this was like one of the first that came up. I was like, how have I never heard of this? I'm always trying to find new queer books, and especially if they're Australian, even better. But yeah, I'd never heard of this, and I was like, this looks kind of cool. And Stef was like, I really want to read that. And I'm like, okay, someone's heard of it. Okay, so it might actually be good. But that's gonna be it for this little announcement. No, it's not. I forgot things. Of course I did. So, we have a Discord. So all of the information that I've said and anything I've forgotten, because I definitely would have, all of that will be in the Discord. I will link the Discord down below, as well as all of the co-hosts' channels, but everything will be linked down below, so please go check that out. If you want to get all of the graphics, they will be in the Discord as well. There will be a space where you can ask us questions if you need any clarification on anything. We've tried to make the prompts as broad as possible, so like interpret it however you'd like. Just read Australian books. That's the only thing we want you to do, is read Australian books. Go check out the Discord, lots of information there. Please go check out all the other co-hosts' announcement videos. They've probably summarized everything much better than I have. Now I hope I've gotten everything. Who knows? Please check out all of the links down below, and I really hope that you will join us in July for the Australian Readathon. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.